Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we are going to be testing some ND filters out on the DJI Avata 2. So this is the freewell standard day ND filter pack, and it ranges from ND8 all the way through to ND64. Now, as usual in the UK, the weather is really changeable and it's not excessively bright out here, so we're probably going to have to use the lowest filter here, which is the ND8. In typical UK fashion, now the sun's coming out. So why would you want to use an ND filter? Well, basically, if you haven't kind of looked at using ND filters before, they're a good way of basically limiting the amount of light that gets into your camera on your drone, so you can actually kind of create motion blur with this. Normally, if you just run your camera in the automatic mode, the auto settings, where it just does everything for you, you're going to get what you're given, and most of the time this looks pretty good. But basically, if you want to get some motion blur, like on when you're going low to this grass, for example, but you actually want the rest of it in focus, like these trees up the top, you might have noticed in our night flying video there was a lot of blur on the grass. Now, this actually happened automatically, and it's really cool, but it's because there wasn't a lot of light out there, so the camera cranks the exposure to try and get more light in. Now, if you want to fake that effect but in a daylight, you can do it by reducing the amount of light that comes into the lens here on the front of the drone, and that's basically what an ND filter does. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fly out here a couple of times around this field with the drone in automatic mode as is, and you'll see what it looks like. Then I'm going to put an ND filter on, and we're going to see what effect we can get using that. Right, guys, so first flight, stick it in manual mode and we'll get going straight away. Camera is in automatic mode, so we should be able to literally it's just going to do its job and just pick the right settings for the job. We've got reasonable kind of sunlight here as well. It's pretty good. Everything's looking good in the goggles. There's not really a lot of motion blur in the goggles that I can see. The frame rate is pretty high, so everything is looking as it should do. So we're just going to cruise around here. This is not as much fun as it was the other night when me and Neil were flying around here in the dusk. It was absolutely brilliant. But you'll see what I mean, like that. If you look at that, watch that video, that dusk footage, the grass just looks like very blurry, and it just looks so cool. I think the effect's really good because everything else is actually like in perfect, in perfect focus. Look at that sky out there; it looks evil. So we're going to just follow down here for a bit, and then there's a sort of bend this way, and then that way I missed it. So we're going to just get down in amongst it a little bit. Nice and smooth. A little bit of breeze coming across the side there. It does happen on this drone. You do catch it a little bit. You do get that situation a little bit there, but it's because you've got the duts. Well, they're not the duts, they're like prop guards really, but it affects it a little bit more drag. But bumps you off course a little bit sometimes, but we should have got the job done that we needed to get done, and that is get around this field without crashing, he says, as he goes into mad mode and tries to get in amongst a little bit more. Anyway, we're back. I'm going to hit the pause button because it's easy, and then we'll just be able to land somewhere decent. And then we'll pop the ND filter on and see, what the situation is, if we can get some nice blur footage. To fit the filter, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to turn the drone off because it's a bit easier doing it with the gimbal not trying to fight you. So we're going to get an ND8. That's the lowest one they actually do here. Careful not to touch it because you don't want fingerprints all over it. Yeah, as I say, it's the lowest filter. Really, in the UK, probably really need an ND6 really, but this is what it comes with, the kit anyway, so we can make it work. It's no problem. So they sort of click on like that. You have to be a little bit firm with it, which might be a little bit disconcerting at first. Give it a little wipe. I normally clean both sides. Actually, I should have really cleaned the camera on the inside, but yeah, there you go, get the idea. Right, the sun is out, so let's try and get this done. So if you leave the camera in auto mode, you'll notice that everything's looking a bit darker. now. Now you have to use manual mode for the camera, so I'm just going to change that now. Right, so I'm starting the recording now. So to just show you what I've done here, I've put it in manual mode, and the ISO's 200. It's kind of where it was, but basically the thing you want to change here is the shutter. You want to make sure your shutter speed is double your frame rate. So I'm in 4K 60 at the moment, so I've set it to 120, which is obviously, you know, 2 times 60 is 120, so that's why I've set that, and that's it. It should be good to go. So we're going to get flying and we'll see what this comes out like. ISO is probably about right, actually. You could go to 100, but we're just going to take off and maybe we'll do a couple of laps and I'll change it. But right, let's get flying. Yeah, the sun's still nicely out. We are getting a bit of glare off of that lens there, so I'm seeing a bit more motion blur in my view from the camera, in the goggles view, but you should see a bit more of that when we look at it, when you see the actual real footage, proper footage coming back. We're going a little bit faster as well. So yeah, it does look quite nice, I've got to say. It does look quite nice. But we could drop down, probably could drop down to 100 actually on the ISO, because it's still quite bright. Right, I'm going to try and bank round here. And we'll go the slightly longer way around. I did get a bit of a glitch there in the goggles. I don't know what that was. I'm going to keep it. Yeah, I got a bit there. No, I'm going to go this way. I definitely saw a slight glitch. I don't know what that is, but anyway, we're not really looking at that today. We're just sort of trying to get this blur effect. Nice. The sun's come out exactly the right time, which is good. Oh, nice and low. Nice and low in there. We are getting a little bit of glare off the lens there, so I'm just gonna bring that in and just make sure my actual lens isn't dirty. I don't think it is, but you know, you never know. Just going to pop that off quickly and then just make sure there's nothing on the other side of there. It looks pretty clean to me, but the inside of that could be a bit cleaner, but hey ho. These were new, so I don't know why the inside's a bit murky. The more you do it, the more they are actually a bit easier to put on, actually. Let's take off again. I might try the ISO a little bit lower this time. When you arm it, the actual video quality improves quite drastically, so if you first look at it and go, not sure about that. Yeah, the ISO is probably better at that level. Should be able to get a nice blur going on. Close down, curve round. Whoa. A little bit of video breakup. Quite a bit there. It's at 59 megabits. See how much better the exposure is. It's not so kind of washed out. A little bit of wind over there, a little bit of breeze. I'll take the long way. Try and stay nice and smooth here. And we don't even need to be doing this in manual really, but I like the feel of it. Plus the fact if you do get into a problem, it's a bit easier to recover in manual mode. If you've been flying a little while and get into this, oh look at that, right in that, get right in there. It's going to go wrong in a minute. So yeah, we're getting a bit of glare from the sun, but battery's at about 30% now, so probably a bit ambitious for, you know, when the battery drops a bit, you kind of don't want to be doing too many kind of punch out maneuvers. Anyway, hopefully this will give you an idea of what the ND filter does and why it would be worth using one. And particularly this kit, they've been around a long time, Freewell, so they kind of, you know, they know what they're doing with these filters and stuff, and I've been using them for quite a long time. So yeah guys, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments.